COD Vanguard campaign, Troy. Tell me about it.
I'm just going to do one mission a week and report in. So this week we're looking at just mission one gameplay. Now, tip of the cap to Call of Duty. First off, it's the first time I've ever seen it in a first-person shooter where within the first minute at the outside 2 minutes into the gameplay, you as a character walk through an area where they have an arsenal on the wall. I think it was every gun in the game. If not every gun, it would be damn near every gun in the game. So you could just, at the start of the single-player campaign, pick your loadout like you would for a multiplayer game, essentially, and then address the level. Brilliant. I love it. I hope that is in every other mission that I come across now. That was so
You
cool.
went the M1 Garand by the looks of things, the standard World War II
yes.
one-shot rifle?
Yeah, given the option, I'll always go an LMG and a long-range rifle. But yes.
Beautiful.
Exactly, mate. The shooting is great, like as you'd sense of the dual sense, it's not quite Krieg 6 blow my hair back because I'm used to it now. Like, yes, they've absolutely put in all that work and all the triggers feel different, the guns, it's fantastic. But now that I'm a bit used to it and maybe I expect it in there, it doesn't stand out to me as I'm playing unless I'm really thinking about it. So it's in there and it's great. And if you haven't experienced it before, you're in for a real treat. It's
beautiful. Now, what's the in terms of the actual campaign itself, initial thoughts on it compared to last year's Black Ops?
Well, last year's Black Ops really drew me in with the character development. And from what I can tell of this year's Call of Duty Vanguard, granted, I've played one mission, obviously finished it, and then it sort of cycles through and auto starts the next, but I didn't play it. It appears to be it's taken I want to say it was Battlefield 5 first did it, where it was like every campaign story is a different main character, sort of.
Yeah.
So
see, I prefer
I'm not sure if that is a correct assessment of the entire game, or maybe we're just bouncing off between two characters. I don't know. But we are certainly a different character between Mission 1 and Mission 2, which says to me I don't expect the story will be that compelling. To me, I love one strong lead main character who I can sort of wrap my head around and appreciate their world through their lens. And I find if I'm bouncing between different protagonists, it gets a bit muddy and you don't get a really clear narrative. So I'm not expecting a whole lot from an overarching narrative standpoint, but certainly as like a one and done, just fun Call of Duty mission, I had a heck of a lot of fun playing this.
Good.
It was just around here in the footage. Maybe we've just passed it. We have.
I'm watching you try and kill a guy that's frozen.
Yes, the frozen guy. That was exactly it. I was going to say the one thing I noticed is the first time ever I've seen such a horrible glitch in a Call of Duty campaign in Mission 1. I submit this as another piece of evidence for my assertion that QA testing has gone out the window in a COVID situation, or the level of complexity of QA in a COVID environment is so much more difficult. They still haven't cracked the nut of how to do it properly. Either way, we are seeing way more bugs in games this day, and that bug to me was the worst we've ever seen in Call of Duty. Like, that guy was shot and killed and then just stayed there. It was weird. Haven't seen anything like that in Call of Duty ever.
You took the words out of my mouth when it comes to a single-player campaign. I'm the same. I much prefer a single protagonist, tell a good story, and then jump between, as fun as the gameplay can be, like jumping between different characters, it does sort of take you out of it a little bit, and it doesn't make you as invested in the story.
Yes.
So I'm completely with you there, but as long as you're having fun and shooting bad guys, and, it is what it is.
It's a lot of fun. You'll see also in the footage here, I don't know, and there's every chance Call of Duty have done this for the past 8 years. I've got no idea. It's the first time I've ever engaged in the mechanic of where you sort of crouch behind cover, and then it's the R3 button press. I can't remember what they call it. There's a word, it's like stick or something. It'll come up in any second, but it's like, you like attach yourself or mount. It might be mount. You sort of mount your gun on the corner, and then you can like lean over a bit. You'll see it throughout the game. I'm using it. But the only reason I knew to do it was because I played so much Rainbow Six Siege, this year between last year's Call of Duty and this year's Call of Duty. I got heavily invested in Rainbow Six Siege, and that game beautifully teaches you how to do that mechanic, attach your gun to the side of a bit of cover and then pop up and shoot like really well. And so doing that in this Call of Duty, incredibly satisfying. And although you see me die heaps, I actually survived a lot longer than I normally would have by using that mechanic. So if, like me, I don't know whether it's existed in Call of Duties in past, but even if it has, if you've never done it yourself, pro tip, make sure you sort of crouch down behind cover and then hit R3 to secure your gun before you enter a gunfight. Your odds of success go through the roof at that point.
Beautiful. Now, in terms of price of admission, are we saying campaign worthy of just the purchase itself, or do you think you're going to have to be invested in multiplayer as well to sort of enjoy the Call of Duty experience?
Way too early for me to tell, man. I think this mission one, was about 28 minutes. And I was horsing around a fair bit. Like, I was not trying to get through it because I knew it was a short game. So I don't know. Like, I'll hold off judgment on that until I've finished all the campaign, and then I'll be able to make a call. But too early to tell at this stage whether it could. It's a solid entry. The only gripe I've got is that one glitch, and it's such a minor gripe. Other than that, like, the animations are phenomenal. Oh, that was the other big thing I had to point out. Whether we get there or not, I'm not sure. But as this mission ends, you see it. The mission ends, and it does like a end of mission in-engine cutscene, so, rendered real time on the engine on the hardware, but then it fades to black, and then it fades back up on a pre-rendered cutscene, and I don't know what the heck they're doing. I suspect they've done that at 8K with some sort of crazy high-end NASA computer. They are pulling off visual effects in that pre-rendered scene that are jaw-dropping. Steve, if they're 120 hertz, mate, I would say just look at the cutscenes, because you can, as you unlock them in the campaign, it's, you know how, I don't know if you ever played, actually, I don't think you played Battlefield 5, but the single-player campaign of Battlefield 5, this lays out exactly the same way, whereby on like the main menu of the campaign at the bottom, it's a timeline. You can just go along with like mission cutscene, mission cutscene, mission cutscene. So you could just go, these high production value cutscene after cutscene. And I think they were phenomenal on that 120 hertz monitor. But even on my 60 hertz monitor, 4K, it's, when you wonder, like, games aren't going to get any better. Look how good Forza 5 is.
Yeah.
Like, who would have thought those graphics would look any better? If you look at the end of the mission in-engine cutscene versus their pre-rendered cutscenes, I reckon the pre-rendered cutscenes are what will be our in-game cutscenes on the next gen, if you know what I'm saying. It'll probably take 7 years. So this right here, that we're looking at is the in-engine cutscene. I have zero control of this as the player. And like, this is just all the models, and they just rolled straight into it. As soon as the gameplay ends, bang, they roll into this. And then as soon as this, actually, we're going to have to jump off this because the end of this interrogation scene gets a bit nasty. But just after this is the pre-rendered cutscene. Maybe next week I'll clip it up for you. But I don't know what they're doing. If anyone has seen any like developer interviews with the Call of Duty guys of how they did those cutscenes, please send me a link. Jump on the Discord, send me a link. I really want to know the story behind those cutscenes. They're phenomenal.
How's this for a deal? I come into the studio and I borrow Call of Duty off you, bring it back here, and then I'll play the game, and then I'll come onto a podcast and tell you how good it is. Is that a good deal?
That's a solid deal, Steve. I've got to jump off here. This is about to get Nazi. Nazi with the Nazis.
That was a good play of words, whether it was deliberate or not.
Totally unintentional. Now, what you're looking at here, footage-wise, is sort of the end of that second mission. I think I was about 40 minutes on the clock at this point. I'm going to say, Steve, this game is brilliant. I don't know whether I've been playing Call of Duty wrong for all these years, but playing one mission a week, which, and I'm deliberately taking my time, but it's about 40, 50 minutes for one mission. I think you could probably, A to B it in about 20 minutes, but if you just draw it out and enjoy it, it's a really enjoyable experience, man. Like, I'm impressed with the scope of the missions, and it keeps it fresh enough. Like, normally you just burn through that content and you're like, okay, I'm in World War I or II or whatever, and then, you spend whatever it is that year, 10 to 20 hours, in the campaign, and then you move on. But just spending, 50 minutes a week, say, with Call of Duty has been a really enjoyable way to play it. So I'm still rendering no verdict because obviously I'm just under 2 hours into the campaign. But I've got to say, it's the most fun I've had in their campaign in a long time. They are doing a lot of crazy new stuff. And a lot of that, if you just saw it, I know you're a bit behind, Steve, but a lot of jump scares in the campaign, more than usual.
Now, I wanted to, are you onto a second character yet, or are you still the same character you were in the last? Okay, so different character, same character.
No, brand new character for Mission 2. And when I finished Mission 2, it rolled into a bunch of cutscenes for 3, but I bounced out. So I don't know is the short answer for 3.
Cool.
But 1 and 2 were unique characters. And there's no real personality in the game, but I don't think they were going for it. Instead, there's a lot of conversations and radio chatter always talking about the scope. The whole time you're playing the game, they are reminding you that it's an entire war effort. Whereas Call of Duties in the past have always been very much, this is happening, then this is happening, then this is happening.
No, that's right.
And that's it. Whereas they've, through radio chatter and, just teammates throughout the missions, they've really been able to broaden the feel of the battle, if that makes sense. Like the mental image they draw is a lot vaster, and in a way it reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy, the way we were saying about how they were taking HUD elements off the screen and replacing it with banter.
Yep.
Well, now they're kind of really flavoring the narrative through that banter. Like, this is sort of, it's not a step up, it's a different step, I suppose, but in a similar direction to Guardians. Like, and I wonder how much of that is due to the power of these new systems. Like, insofar as when they're designing it, they're imagining they've got more resources to deal with. So the artists, the creatives, are creating newer experiences. But this game is it's really impressive, really blowing me away. And the other thing I'll note, back to the multiplayer, I have played a bit of multiplayer, and it's really enjoyable, man. I've really enjoyed Call of Duty this week. Played one mission, played maybe 3-4 hours online, but it was my week for Call of Duty Vanguard, I reckon.
Ah, good. Now, I've heard each character has a special ability. Is that correct?
Oh gosh! Now are you talking about the multiplayer? In multiplayer, yes. But
campaign. I've heard each one has their own, so not so much power, but like a gimmick that they both have different to each other. Is that correct?
Well, I'm trying to think now. I think it was a new mechanic in level 2. I don't think it was in level 1, where you could order your squad. This whole mission, you're very much getting your squad to, suppress this guy, and then you can advance down the left flank on the battlefield, for example.
Yeah.
But it's you driving that. You could tell them to suppress, left, middle, or right. You can sort of. It's a little bit that-y, but I think that may have been unique to that mission, because on the mission before, I'm positive on mission 1 there was none of that. So maybe if that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha. Well, so if it sticks to what it's doing now, even if it's a short campaign, do you reckon, I did ask this last week, do you reckon it's worthy of prize for a mission alone on the campaign? If it keeps going like this, is it worth picking up for the campaign, just in terms of, even if it is short, is the gameplay sort of satisfying and worth it, the story, etc.?
It totally is, man, but I see no reason to recommend to rush out and get it now. You could totally wait 6 months, pick it up for $20 and then enjoy the single player campaign.
Oh mate, I plan on waiting till I come and see you, and I'm going to grab it off you for free.
You're straight in with a free copy. But for the viewers out there, it's a very enjoyable campaign when you get to it, but I see no reason to rush out and get to this campaign now. But when you do get to it,
awesome.
You're in for a treat. My advice, take it slow. It's quality.
I will. I think I'll be doing the same with Halo campaign. I'm going to chuck Halo campaign up on a heroic difficulty, which I normally do with my first playthrough, because I want to make that sort of experience last.
Are you concerned about spoilers?
I'm a bit concerned. I try and stay clear. Sort of, it's hard to stay clear of full spoilers when it comes to YouTube, and sometimes just these, people just put something on their thumbnail that's just straight up a spoiler, which can be annoying. So I'll try and stay clear of that. I don't look too much into it, so I don't think I'll be spoiled too much, hopefully.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, it might be worth playing it on normal difficulty quickly through the campaign, so you can experience without spoilers, and then go back for that hard playthrough.
No, that's probably true, because I probably will. I reckon we will probably maybe play co-op campaign when it comes out.
So I would love to, absolutely.
Harder difficulty for that, because I really enjoy Halo is some of the best co-op campaign stuff you can do.
Well, the games always get harder when you add me as a second player.
That is true. I've got to lift. There's more enemies, and I've got to do more lifting.
Perfect. Well,
as long as there's no platforming parts in Halo now. Although you do have you've got a grapple hook, so I think we're stuffed.
Oh my goodness! Yep, grapple hooks and me, they go well.
Because I look at your footage here, actually, this does look actually quite fun to play. So I think I might have to give it a go.
It is, even though this sounds terrible, but even though the characters don't really have a personality, the story, just the vastness of the battlefield, again, they've done it so well, it kind of doesn't matter that you don't have a personality as the character, because the war is kind of the character that they're exploring in the game.
It's generally in a war, that's generally what it is. Like, you have that many people that run around, like you could die any minute. So I don't mind you not having a strong character. Yeah. Well, apparently, I think pretty sure they're all based off real life people who were in the war as well. So
that's exactly,
which is weird. Weird to think they've got all these people based on real people, but they don't really have a character. So
are all their families getting likeness like royalties? Who knows? So this is mission 3 of Call of Duty, and I've got to say once again, Steve, it took me about 50 minutes to complete, and it was just the perfect snack food. If you liked 24 back in the day is where I'm going to go to with this analogy.
Yes.
A good 40 minutes of intense action and a little bit of narrative plotted along the way. Like, Call of Duty now lights me up the way 24, the TV show, did back in the day. It's short, it's concise, but look at this, Steve. In this mission specifically, and I know you're on a delay, but what I love about this third mission, they spend the first bit walking you through the city one day with no pressure, no time constraints. It's just another day in, I don't know where we are, Stalingrad or something, and you're going to work as a nurse in the thing. And then, of course, it does the big turnaround pivot point. What do they call it? A pincer move, I believe, the pincer. Thanks to, oh, God, Stephen Blake and Christopher Nolan's last film. What was that one?
Yep.
Tenet.
Tenet. That's it.
Just like in Tenet, you can see here I'm moving forward through the level. Now, you've got to remember that in this level, it's like the war is the character. So don't worry too much about my avatar as such. But if you take it as the opening of this level is getting a feel for this character in normal times, like, there's checkpoints and everything, but there's no chaos as such.
So why is she on a roof?
Well, it's just there's too many checkpoints in the city and she doesn't want to show her papers everywhere. So she legs it over the roof to avoid all the checkpoints so she can get to her work on time, which you're just about to see here. You're a nurse, and then it turns to chaos, as you could imagine, Steve. The bombing run happens, hellfire, and then you scurry back, but you go straight back over all the roof and everything you just saw. So honestly, man, if you enjoyed the Tenet film, this mission 3 of Call of Duty Vanguard is going to give you serious Tenet vibes.
I'm going to tell you, I haven't actually seen Tenet yet.
I know. You've got to watch it. That is such a good film. That is like up there, man. Oh, see that film and then watch this. Oh, my gosh. You're going to love this mission, Steve, but I know you're picking it up. You're getting your hands on it when you come into the studio.
I am.
When you do it, mate, do me a favor, play it paused. At least give yourself just one mission a day. Don't do any more than one mission a day. And before you do mission 3, make sure you watch Tenet, man. You're going to get so much more out of the playthrough by having it. But this game continues to impress me. It continues to do stuff that I haven't seen Call of Duty bother to do before. I'm just absolutely loving this Call of Duty game. It's one of the best. They've got emotional resonance in this level. There's some serious emotional beats they hit. I haven't put them in here. I've cut around them so nothing's spoiled. But there are things that matter of great consequence. And I'm not saying it got me anywhere near tearing up or anything of this nature, but there is certainly emotional resonance. I love the way they're reusing the game level, the assets, the way what was friendly a minute ago, this glass roof, and now, the bombing run. They've turned into a platformer, Steve. They deleted the platform in front of me. I had to sidestep and almost ended poorly.
I was going to say, what you're saying is you still haven't finished this level then.
I did manage to get through the level, but I got to tell you, man, what they're throwing at me and the narrative, this is hitting like no narrative has hit me in a Call of Duty, I would argue, ever before. I honestly think from a narrative standpoint, and once again, keeping in mind, I'm not talking about any individual character here. I'm talking about the character is the war. The story is the war. Yeah. And it's a phenomenal story, well told. I get great appreciation for sort of daily life in this mission. It's daily life in a war when you're not on the front line, and then what happens when that front line comes to you. It's just amazing, man.
Well, I am a World War
really
fan,
good.
so just watching your gameplay here just makes me want to play this game even more. And so What's your favourite mission so far? You've played 3 now.
Honestly, this mission that you're looking at right now, they have progressively been getting better. Like the first one I enjoyed, the second one I really enjoyed, and this third one is the best yet. Every week they're impressing me more with what they're doing with this story. And Steve, I can finally tell you, they're starting to tie the narrative together. We are coming back to these characters, and now I think they're a band of misfits, somewhat like Suicide Squad, but they're not bad guys. They're good guys, but they're still a group of misfit good guys. And the story is starting to tie itself together. This is mission 4 of the campaign, and I got to say, Steve, it's the low point of this.
Because you were very high on this last week.
I am high on it, but here, let me tell you why, mate. This mission is all in cockpit. It's just a what do you call it? A dogfight. Okay. It's a dogfight mission, and
I've never really liked the Call of Duty in-vehicle sections, to be honest.
No, and I would say this is one of the worst. It's just, it controls poorly, and I'm playing it on normal difficulty, but it's ridiculously forgiving. It's, I really just could have done without this mission. It didn't really do anything to aid the narrative other than, I'll reiterate the point again, that it does show that grand scope of battle. Like there's scenes throughout this where there's just a phenomenal amount of ships in the water and planes in the sky, and the PS5 doesn't miss a beat. It just looks beautiful. Absolutely love the look of it, but the gameplay I could do without. Oh, the other thing I'll note is that they're giving away constant free play weekends for the multiplayer of Call of Duty Vanguard. So if you don't want to part with the money, but you want to check out the multiplayer, keep your eye on the PlayStation Store, because I think it's last 2, maybe 3 weekends in a row they've given free access. So if you want to get into the Call of Duty multiplayer, it's there. And
Troy, as good as that sounds, why do you think they're doing that?
I think the sales must be really soft on this year's title, because typically we have to wait till post-Easter the following year, sort of a good 4 or 5 months before we get the free play weekends. But they've turned it on, within a month of launch? Not even.
They have. I've heard sales are pretty good for the game, but I reckon they are definitely down on last year, given the fact that Halo is doing so well.
Yeah, it's the Halo factor.
I was going to say they're competing with Battlefield, but I'm not sure how well Battlefield's doing either, but I just think it's mainly the Halo factor.
Those wait times in Battlefield are not improving, Steve. I don't think the sales have gone up any.
Mate, we're getting old enough as it is. We don't need to waste time in waiting to play a game of Battlefield.
No, we don't. And sorry, I'm just going to let this footage run for 1 second just so you can see the ships here as we take off. The whole level looks beautiful. As I said, runs at 4K 60. Just looks fantastic. It's a visual treat. I just didn't enjoy controlling the vehicle. This is the 5th mission, and I've got to say, Steve, this mission was brilliant. It was just back to first-person shooting glory. They've got old mate here, I didn't catch his name, but it's the first time they've really let loose with the flamethrower in this one. And I don't know if you remember, Steve, what was it, the one with... was it World at War? The one where 24, what's his name? Sutherland. Keith Sutherland voiced.
Keith Sutherland,
yeah. Remember he did the voice in a Call of Duty years ago.
Oh, yeah.
It was that Call of Duty that they first, I feel like was the first time they really showed you the flamethrower in Call of Duty. But this,
I do remember that, yep.
This is the first time, so it's sort of like it's the same sort of missions, it's the same sort of feeling, but it just looks 100 times better. And I think this is what they were going for in that Keith Sutherland one, but they actually pull it off. And, you're about to see it here. I thought I was timing it out beautifully. I wasn't. But you're about to see me here charge up the beach and unleash this flamethrower just here. And you line up that whole team. I think that's the moment they were going for in the Keith Sutherland one and never pulled it off. But they certainly pulled it off this year. Look at that. The guy's just dancing on fire. Maybe it shouldn't tickle me, but it did. I thought it was ridiculously fun.
Now, I actually have since got Call of Duty Vanguard. I've been playing through the campaign. No, I haven't actually. I'm not even up to this mission yet. I'm up to the mission now where you're still the pilot, so you've crashed your plane and you're now in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
I've just come up on
mission, mate.
Oh, is it? Okay, there you go.
Very mission, yeah.
Gotcha, yeah. So I start in the jungle. You obviously you've got to try and find your mate, and then I think I'm up to an area now where you come into a bridge and there's some snipers in a tree, and I've just done that.
Yeah. That is this mission, man.
Cool. So I'm not far off you.
No, we are right there on the same one. Anyway, I'm absolutely loving it. And then what I noticed when the way this mission ends, to me, looks like it was meant to feed into what was Mission 4. The way, I don't want to, no spoilers, but if they manage to have this single-player campaign into, if they then had to put Mission 4 after Mission 5 and got the flight controls working beautifully, it would have been the perfect intro into the flight mission if they had got the controls right. They didn't get the controls, so it wouldn't have worked, but the setup and then delivery would have been phenomenal. You could see it was right there. They had all the pieces for a masterpiece there, and they just didn't stitch it together in the end, which was unfortunate. But I still am loving this year's Call of Duty. Mission 6. Yep. This is Lady Nightingale, and I looked, Steve, and now I've forgotten. I want to say there's 4 more missions. I believe there's 10. So we've got another 4 weeks of this. Now, last week when we discussed Mission 5, mate, you said you were going to play it, and I'm just wondering, have you played the Nightingale mission?
Funny you should say that. I jumped on today just to make sure I was up to date with yourself. So I did finish off the last week's mission as well, which was fun with the old flamethrower, etc. Although I do definitely agree with you that the end of that mission would have been the perfect time to go into a flight mission.
Yes. How good would it have been? You can see it. It's perfect. And
it's the perfect setup. And I think if they kind of just switched those around and not done the flight bit in the first place, and just started with the crashing on the island and then you fly, I think that would have been probably a better way to tell the story and all that.
Yes, I agree completely.
No, I have played Lady Nightingale today as well, and I have to say this is probably my favourite level of the game so far.
Oh, really? I'm still with old mate in the jungle last week. I can't remember the name of that mission now. But I agree, this mission was phenomenal. This was some really old school Call of Duty in the snow, specifically Stalingrad all bombed out. Always takes me back to Call of Duty 2. And I had such a soft spot in my heart for the original couple of Call of Duties. I put so many hours into those. And so it's really a nostalgia play for me, but it's so well executed. It looks phenomenal. It plays great. And the way they even do these emotional little beats with the characters. Oh, Steve, without spoilers, going back to Mission 3, what did you think of the emotional resonance at the start with Lady Nightingale here, but when she's at the dinner table, I'm referring to?
And just refresh my memory. I'm trying to think.
The mission starts. It's before there's any chaos. It's standard day in whichever city they're in, and they're having breakfast at the dinner table.
Oh, and she's talking with her brother and her dad and all that.
Oh yeah, how good is that? Like just talking specifically for Call of Duty, like the emotional resonance of that scene and the way those characters play out across the whole mission, I think is a new step up for Call of Duty. I think it's the best they've ever done.
No, I really like it, and I really like the sort of even the small character development you get in this level here with this.
Well, I think this only works because he's your brother, and they set it up in Mission 3. Like that sort of setting them at home with no war really allows me to anchor to the character, and then you put them in these extreme circumstances, and it means so much more.
Now, in saying that, though, I do believe your brother does you dirty a little bit when it comes to pulling the grenades a little bit too prematurely.
No, you know what I'm talking about? I know exactly what you're talking about, and I love it because at the start, I think it's in Mission 3 at that table, she says you always do stuff too early, and he, denies it. Like, they set it up. There you go. Okay, because I was beautiful. Like, wow, dude, maybe don't drop 4 grenades before around the bloody room. I'm trying to remember the exact language she uses. Maybe it was something about discipline or whatever, but it was always like, you're doing stuff too quick, mate. And I just thought it was brilliant the way they put them together.
Oh, well, I just love this level because it's a bit slower paced. I do like the more methodical shooting, and it doesn't feel like, enemies just coming at you for the sake of coming at you until you move forward. Like you got one enemy. This whole pistol section with this was so much fun to actually sort of come at the guy. I really enjoyed this level. And
but specifically with carrying this guy, man, can you name another escort mission in a Call of Duty game that's enjoyable? Because I was
going to say in a Call of Duty game, no.
Yeah, I reckon that's the best they've ever done, an escort mission in Call of Duty.
Yeah, it was real good, and I do like when they do these ones. All of a sudden your gun does have unlimited ammo because otherwise you'd be screwed. And she reloads. Coming from experience, she reloads that gun with one hand way too well.
Are you going to spend some time at the shooting range, Steve, practicing on your reloading one hand?
Practicing my one-handed reload, yeah, in 0.5 of a second.
If you need me to go there and act injured, hanging off the side of you while you do it as well for authenticity.
Yeah, nice. Let's give that a go. Let's go. And as I was going to say, I really enjoyed the end of this level with the fight against the guy. It sort of made me feel a bit Last of Us-y.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. So I quite enjoyed that. I do always find it weird, these sort of games, though, when you are stalking someone, it's still got that Mario mentality where you must get them 3 times before they die. Because I feel like if I snuck up on someone and stabbed them in the neck, pretty sure they're going to die.
He was a very tough Nazi, all right?
He was very tough. I did enjoy that. They went up close and personal with it because I thought it might just be a sniping thing, but I really enjoyed that. Just made you do it with a knife.
Yeah, I got to say that's another props I got to give them for the campaign this year. The adding little like special moves. I don't know what you call it for each of the different characters. Like, and hers is crouching, sneaking, somewhat cat-like. And they do it beautifully. They don't cram it down your throat. It's in there enough for you to remember, but then you're out of there before it outstays its welcome. It's beautifully timed.
No, that's right. So, I was the previous guy had his like slow-mo sort of shooting and vision stuff, which is a bit like, you think it kind of takes you out of a little bit because the other one's a bit more realistic. Like she's got one where you can call, your brother to hold up a knife, which is quite cool and a bit more bound in reality, whereas the other one's just I can see through walls now. And it's like, do you have superpowers or are you just heightened senses? I don't know, but I'm excited for the next level. Like I've just watched the start cutscene, you're playing as the Aussie, so I'll be interested to see how they take our Aussie character in the desert. So I can't wait.
Now I watched the opening cutscene. I just stop and play. I do it every time. But did you enjoy the banter between the 3 Aussies at the card table?
I did. I was going to say, I literally probably paused it just after like a tiny bit of dialogue with the card stuff, and I'm like, I'll leave this for next time.
They've made it so Aussie. I love it. I'm such a big fan of it. And now, Steve, to wrap this bad boy up, are you now going to proceed with me one mission a week?
I think I will now. Now that I've caught up, I think, because today I was like, no, I want to just do that. And that's another thing I wanted to say. They did like an update to COD since the last time I played it, which is really frustrating because I just got to that sort of, you shoot the sniper out of the tree in that level just before you get to the findings. Yeah. But the update wiped all mid-campaign level saves. So I was like, that was my barrier for getting back into it because I'm like, I can't be bothered doing that whole bit because I'm playing on the hardened. So it hasn't been. I was taking me a bit longer because it's not as easy. So I was like, I just feel that whole bit again. And it was frustrating, but I got through it, and I'm glad I did because I got to play Lady Stalingrad, or what's it, Lady Nightingale and Stalingrad. Yeah. And I'm glad I did now. So we'll keep rocking through with you one level a week.
Mission 7, which was, I'm blanking on the name, but Steve, did you play it, mate? Did you like it?
Mate, I did. You'd think in a whole week of being able to play video games, you'd think I'd be able to play a full one level of Call of Duty. You would think so.
I would think so, yes. Not the case?
but I reckon I get about a C- for my efforts with Call of Duty this week. I did. The funny thing was, I actually played the level very early in the week. I reckon it may have even been after our last GEA podcast. I reckon I on and did it straight away. Yeah. I reckon I'm maybe, if I had to call it, probably 70% through the level, but I am loving this level so far. I'm loving the banter between all the Aussies and stuff. It's been one of I've had a few laugh out loud moments as well. So it's probably, I said last week's was my favorite level so far because of that camaraderie and the sort of banter between the characters and the actual setting and just the mood this level creates. I think this might now be my favorite level. So if the game keeps going the way it's going, it's just going to keep getting better and better.
I'm with you 100%, mate. The game really does feel like it's building to a crescendo, and I agree. This has been their best level by far. I also agree. I love the banter. I'd put it up there with Guardians of the Galaxy in just like outstanding quality, but in this game, it's only in this one level. It's the Australian sort of mannerisms. They've just nailed it beautifully and very entertaining. Very entertaining.
I could play a whole game with this crew of characters.
Yes.
Like, this reminds me of like Battlefield Bad Company as well. They just feel like a more tight-knit group. Feels like there's a story behind all these characters I'd love to delve into more. But obviously we're only going to get one level, but I just love these characters. So yeah, as I was just playing this level, this is where the mechanics I think are at the best. I think
I agree.
You can go silent, you can go loud if you want to. There's no punishment either way.
Yes.
It's not telling you to play a certain way, and that's another thing I really like about this level. I think if Call of Duty moves towards this more of a wideish linear storytelling based gameplay throughout a whole campaign, I could be really into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And a big shout out to, I don't know his name, but the English officer there that travels with us throughout the mission. We give him nothing but stick the whole time, and it was excellent.
It's great. I think that's what makes the Aussies so funny, is they've got this character that stands out from them, and they just give him shit the whole time. I love it.
Oh, it's so perfect. And I'm with you 100%, man. If these characters or, some sort of take similar to this was a whole game, sign me up. I would love to play it. But as far as all the missions go, I love it. I think it's great. We've only got 2 to go, and I'm very much looking forward to how they wrap it up. But so far, Steve, any thoughts, feelings? Are you changing your initial impressions of the campaign? Is it better than you're expecting?
Yeah, I reckon it probably is better than I was expecting. I actually think I think mainly that is because it actually is longer than I expected. Like, a lot of these times I was playing these missions expecting the game just to be, I'm almost done with it. This is like, it'd be kind of good if there was more of it, just to sort of lengthen it out and just feel like I wasn't just getting this like short cookie cutter popcorn campaign. But now that it is sort of feeling like it is a bit longer, some of these levels do seem to go on for quite a while and have different sort of parts to them. Like the last level that we played where your planes crash, you're in the jungle, but then all of a sudden you're like coming up a mountain with a flamethrower and working through that. Like, it almost felt like 2 missions in one, not just one.
Yes, 100%.
I can't speak to this level because I'm probably halfway through it or 70% through. I'm not sure if it does something different with this. But
no,
this more of that.
It's one beautiful level, mate. It feels like a complete package of a level.
Good. So, mate, I'm actually really enjoying this campaign. Like, as I said, if it keeps sort of moving up towards this and it comes to a nice sort of crescendo at the end and the story all comes together, which I think it will, because it feels like we have there's potential with all that group, and it has just been, these are all essentially flashbacks to characters just to build their story, just to sort of create something that happens at the end. I think if they can land that ending, it actually could be quite a special campaign.
Yeah, it could be really great. My one question for you, Steve, you've sort of been saying it's longer than you're expecting, but I'm just wondering, have you changed the way in which you're playing it all? Like, I certainly have. I was thinking it's a short campaign. I'm deliberately taking my time. Are you in a similar boat, or are you just playing the way you always would?
I'm sort of it takes me a little while. Like, I am on heroic, so I kind of have to play quite carefully anyway. Otherwise, like most Call of Duties, like a couple of bullets and your screen goes red and you're dead. So, generally playing on this hard difficulties does sort of make these campaigns longer, which is generally a reason why I do play Call of Duty on harder, because I generally do enjoy my time with those games and I like to have them last longer. Same thing I do with Halo. Like, I know it's harder and can be more frustrating playing on a harder difficulty, but if I like something, I do want to be in that world longer, and to put something on a harder difficulty automatically makes sure that's going to happen. So
I hear you, man, and I was of the exact same mindset right up until launch title PS4. What was that? Call of Duty Ghosts, I want to say. Ghosts? That was that year, wasn't it? I think. We'll say it was Call of Duty Ghosts. It was that year in which they had 3 really cool cinematic, big, set piece moments. Those real Bond moments that the Call of Duty campaigns can have. And it was my bad playing that was... So I was kicking it up to the higher difficulty, but the higher difficulty was ruining the impact of those big moments. So what I found now is I kick it down to normal, and those cinematic moments work way better. So, like, I agree that kicking it up to hard will lengthen the entire campaign, but I'd suggest there's an unnoticed cost there of a reduction in some of those big scenes landing.
Yeah, I do see what you mean, because, like, it can take you out of it if you just sort of halfway through a scripted moment and then you just die, and essentially you're doing that bit over and over and over again. It kind of loses that impact that it's really going for.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
I definitely see the merit in that. But Troy, I'm pretty good at games, so I don't struggle too much.
No question at all, Steve. I'm trying to justify my laxing skill set. But my enjoyment of Call of Duty continues. So tune in next week. It'll be mission 8 of 9. We're wrapping it up.
I promise, Troy, I will definitely finish mission 7 and mission 8 by next Monday.
Very good. I did enjoy the way mission 7 ends. No spoilers. It's a good ending, mate. You got a good one coming. And this is mission 8 of 9. Steve, you've played it, I've played it. Did you enjoy it as much as I did?
I did, and I was very, very happy. Well, you'll be happy first to know that I get an A+ on my assignment this week, filling this one very early in the week as opposed to last week.
Nailed it, mate. Good job.
I did, and I was very happy to see that we were continuing our story with the Aussie boys.
Aussies, how good's Des? My new favourite character, Des, character of the year.
Oh, mate, give us a whole game with Des as far as I'm concerned. These
yes,
last
please.
Like where this game should have been set the whole time, maybe.
Yes. Now, if there's ever been a better reason for why we need an Australian set Call of Duty, this is it. Please, Steve, keep going.
Oh, mate, it was the perfect continuation of the last level, and it was cathartic. It was loud. It brought that feeling of the war, which pretty much the whole game's been doing this whole time. But just when you have those tanks rolling in through the sand and just everything going on above you, and you're pushing through with all those tanks, dude, like the adrenaline was going.
It was. Steve, tell me, did you get the trophy like I did for getting run over by one of your own tanks?
No, I don't think I'm that bad at gaming to get that.
I didn't think you would have been, mate. And I actually cut it out of this footage, but I ran headlong straight into the first tank and squished me. The achievement popped, and I thought, well, they saw me coming.
No, I just think this was it. The game just keeps going from strength to strength, and
it really does.
I have started the last mission, which we'll talk about next week, and the culmination of what we've been playing at the moment does add up quite nicely to what we're about to get into in the final episode.
Absolutely, mate. I'm going to tell you, when I forced the controller down at the conclusion of this very, very excellent, high-quality, top-notch, top-tier Call of Duty mission, it was a struggle to put the controller down and not just run through that final mission. I love the story. I love the way it's culminating, the way they're tying all the characters together. I am there, hook, line, and sinker. Man, do I want to see that final mission. I'm going to say, if you haven't played last year's Call of Duty campaign, you have missed a special one. It really is top-notch.
No, it is great fun. Initially, I was a bit put off by the fact that you're not playing as a single character in a game, because I do prefer that kind of usual progression of playing one character, unlocking certain things in that character, and having that sort of story arc go from start to finish.
Yeah,
you think, I'm going to play a different character each time. What's the point, really? They've all got their different mechanics as well. So
yes,
mechanic doesn't carry over level to level, which can be like if you do like a mechanic in a certain level, you're not getting that the next level unless you're in this one, which is, of course, 2 levels essentially with the same character. But what was Dez's ability? I can't even think.
Well, I think I only saw it once, man. It was getting squashed by a tank.
He's good, mate. Good. I'll get you a trophy, so clearly that's canon.
Yeah. That's in there now. It's perfect. No, mate, I don't know what his special ability was. The only thing that's jumping to my mind is Des constantly telling you to throw a banger in there, mate. Throw a banger in there. I reckon it was maybe he could carry 2 extra hand grenades more than any other character. I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe that's it. Actually does have a fair few different grenade types, so maybe that is his thing.
It's got to be about the bangers, mate. Throw a banger in there.
Oh, banger, mate. I can't remember. There was a real funny line. I think it was actually the end of the last mission where the plane was flying over. Something about shoot that flying asshole down.
Oh, yes. Yes, that was a great moment. Everything
shoot that flying asshole.
Yeah. I love the Aussie slang. I see no reason why they couldn't have an entire game full of it, mate. I love it. I love it.
Oh, I love it too. So, no, it continues from strength to strength this game. It does keep getting better and better. And, yeah, as I said, the final mission, I couldn't put the controller down quite as quickly as you could because I was pretty keen.
Mission 9, the culmination of the Call of Duty Vanguard campaign. I got to say, Steve, they're still doing new stuff in this game. I would argue this is one of the better Call of Duty single-player campaigns they've ever done. Admittedly, it's probably the shortest one they've ever done, but I would argue pound for pound, this has the most amount of new ideas, new features, cinematic storytelling, highly engaging cutscenes. It's just a real masterpiece, I think, of a single-player campaign.
I agree. I really enjoyed this campaign, and just the way it all as we sort of envisioned sort of over the last couple of weeks how it was all going to come together with sort of playing that final mission as all the characters you've been getting to know throughout the whole campaign through their backstories. And I think it sort of came together nicely in the way you sort of mixed up who you were playing as during the campaign as well. I think they sort of mixed their abilities really nicely with the gameplay as well towards the end. And like I was going to sort of wait to mention it, but that final scene where you walk into that room and the camera flicks around.
Yes, I know. Yes.
Oh mate, I had like my skin was tingling. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It just looked really cool. You didn't really have to do a whole lot. You walked into the room.
I know.
It was
Yes, it's the cinematic moments, mate. This is one of the best examples of cinematic moments pulled off superbly in video games. I would argue the game before this that tried it was probably Grand Theft Auto 5, switching out between Michael and Trevor, like if you hit the button like it does the zoom out, zoom in. But this being a single player, like linear story, they can just trickle feed it and then at the exact right moment, I can't remember the character's name, but someone throws an ammo pouch. You're playing the character, you throw an ammo pouch, and then the camera follows the ammo pouch through the air like a drone shot and then comes back into the next character. It is these perfect, like little cinematic signature camera moves that they just turn it up to 11, man. It's like I'm playing a James Bond action piece. It is one of the most coolest, empowering things ever. But allow me to put a big but there, Steve, because I got to tell you, this game, as cool as that is, and as cinematic as that is, and as awesome as it is, it does have that impact of pulling you out of the gameplay, and you turn into watching as opposed to playing. You go from active participant into viewer and back again. And I got to say, that taking you out just for the brief moment, that is exactly why Guardians of the Galaxy 2 cannot allow you to use multiple characters. I would argue the best way multiple characters has ever been done is that Call of Duty Vanguard campaign, specifically Mission 9, because I want to say they did at least 6 of those cinematic transitions. I believe the count was 6. Just phenomenal. I've never seen that many awesome cinematic transitions crammed into one short gameplay session. It was phenomenal. As I said, it takes you out of it a little bit, but if you can recall in Grand Theft Auto 5, they did that character switching cinematic moment, but because the load times were so long, it sort of zoomed right out and then waited and really pulled you out and then got in, whereas Call of Duty does it way quicker. It's like, bang, you're out, following an ammo pouch, bang, you're back in. Like, it's probably not more than 2 seconds, maybe a second and a half of a transition, and it looks cool, but it does take you out a little bit. I think for Call of Duty, awesome, perfect, don't change a thing, you've nailed it, but it's also a cautionary tale for the developers. Who was it who did Guardians of the Galaxy? Was that Crystal Dynamics, I want to say? Am I wrong?
No, they were. Crystal Dynamics is Avengers. It is. Who was Guardians?
Who was Guardians? Oh, Montreal. Tomb Raider people? Was it?
No, because that's that's just on the. Guardians of the Galaxy game. No, it's going to come to me, Troy. I've got this. You can keep talking about it while I
Yeah. So, the reason Guardians of the Galaxy can't do it is because Guardians' storytelling is non-linear. The way they enable you to just walk around the environment and then interact with the characters as you come upon them at your speed, that's what sells Guardians. That's what makes Guardians cool. I am Peter Quill. I can take my time. And when I get there, my squad mates respond to me and it's awesome dynamics. And as was said in the past, like the use of squad in Guardians means they can take elements off the HUD because they can get the characters in-world to do it, which is way more immersive. But part of that immersion is never breaking from Peter Quill. I am Peter Quill. I set the pace of Peter Quill. That makes the character mine. That makes the story mine and feel very personal. As awesome as it is to switch out characters in Call of Duty where it fits perfectly, I would argue that would totally break the immersion that made Guardians of the Galaxy 1 the game that it was. So please let us stay as Peter Quill in Guardians 2. I think if you wanted to try to do multiple characters, you need to rip off Call of Duty Vanguard cinematic moments the way they do it. it. But the problem with that is, in Guardians, you would want to be able to, the player wants to be able to pick when to switch characters, and Call of Duty only works because they can dictate the pace at which it happens. And I think they are key fundamental gameplay points that mean they can't cross over, in my mind.
That's right. And I'd happily play, I wouldn't say a whole campaign potentially like this last level, but I could see some DLC coming out where you play levels as these group now that they're together. And I think the end of the game kind of hints at that when they're in the plane and they're finding all these different documentation about different things going on. And I'm like, is there a story campaign? Because I had a look and it doesn't appear like that's on the cards. It looks like they're adding stuff to zombies and multiplayer, but nothing campaign-wise. But the way they set that up when they're in the plane and just talking about all the different missions they could go on, this would be some really compelling, great DLC, especially if you're playing as this group of characters and they can really get that cinematic stuff going. I would definitely play that.
But here's my argument, Steve. You won't see it as DLC this year. In 3 more years, that Call of Duty by Sledgehammer will be the follow-on. You know, the way they did, what am I trying to think of? Black, what's that code? The brainwashing one.
Yeah, Black Ops.
Black Ops, thank you. Yeah. The way they did Black Ops and then 3 years later they did Black Ops 2 and continued the story. If Sledgehammer in 2 more years, when the next one comes out, if they follow on from Vanguard, that would be amazing. And if they've got 3 years to maybe pad it out a little bit longer and give us more like a 20-hour campaign or something, that'd be awesome. That'd be amazing. But to their point, they have nailed so many elements as the first time in this game that, I don't know, my hat's really off to them. They have just delivered in droves on this game. I think it's brilliant. I just love the way they thought about it.
And so this is how much I enjoyed it. I went back, and I think I messaged you about it, went back and started playing the game on veteran difficulty.
No, you didn't tell me that. How'd it go?
Oh, mate, it was actually, I really enjoyed veteran difficulty. It's like you have to slow down a lot, so you actually notice a lot more things going on. You notice a lot more animations. You notice the story more because you're not just rushing through it.
Yes.
And you have to be really methodical. It becomes a different game, and it's really enjoyable because it doesn't quite have the waves of Call of Duty normally. You can actually just sort of sit back, take out the enemies, then your guys will move forward, then you can move forward. So you can take it slowly. So I managed to get all the way to, I think it was Stalingrad. On veteran. So that's probably halfway through the game on veteran.
I reckon that's a little bit over. But I think that's mission 4 of 9. So anyway.
Yeah, and I got probably about halfway through that, so I got through the initial sort of scenario, the snipers and stuff, and worked my way up, and I'm scared to think how hard it's going to get when I'm going to fight those other snipers and guys coming in, because that was tough on heroic. But
the department store level when you're Lady Nightingale sneaker, I can't imagine how difficult that would be.
Yeah, I know. So I kind of noped out at that point, going, I'll play something else. Actually, right now, but I'll bring up one more thing. Did you wait to the end of the credits when you finished the game by any chance?
Well, admission here. Yes, I let the credits roll through to completion and go back to the main menu because I saw there was a silver trophy attached to see it play through. But I got up and walked off. So I have no idea what happened at the end. I just let it roll in the studio while I was off doing other stuff. So
that's great. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. I literally was bringing up the point of the fact that I got an achievement for it at the end for watching all the credits. I was wanting to see if you got the same thing. So.
Yeah, no, I looked ahead and saw, because Call of Duty have been doing that for, I want to say, about 8 years, a trophy for watching out the credits. So I know with Call of Duty specifically, always check the trophy list and see, because some years they don't do it, but some years they do. And so I knew to look for that one. I checked in advance, and I'm like, right here, I'll let the credits roll and just walk off. Came back later, main menu, trophy popped. Perfect.
Nice. I was like, it was not the easiest trophy I ever earned. So, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and a silver one. So good on them. But yeah, all in all,
all in all, now we're gonna have to kind of rate Call of Duty from start to finish. Now, what are you probably sitting on score wise for a campaign for COD for the last year?
Honestly, man, the only negative swipe I want to go on permanent record of taking at them is the game length. Yes, admittedly, a bit short. So. Yeah, I'd love to see a bit longer campaign. As I said, 15 to 20 hours to me is the sweet spot for a Call of Duty campaign. Yep. This one came in, I think the longest time I took for one mission was 52 minutes. The average was 40 minutes, though, per mission, 9 missions. So a little bit disappointing time-wise. And then, as we pointed out, I believe it was the end of mission 4 set up the start of mission 3 perfectly, and they felt out of order.
Yeah, no, agreed. I'm playing back that flying level as well on the hardest difficulty was just an absolute pain. Like, it was not fun to play at all.
That's a good point. We should really ding them for that level. That one level specifically, they never got the controls right. They had to be so forgiving with the damage because they didn't get the controls right that it lost all impact. Honestly, the story beats they did in that mission, if they couldn't get the controls right, they should have just done with a cutscene and left that mission on the floor.
Cutscene. Keep me boots to the ground. To be honest, I don't even need to be in a tank at all in a game. Just leave me boots on the ground. I'm happy to do that. I don't need any vehicle sections in that Call of Duty if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's I'm with you 100%, man. Call of Duty should leave vehicle driving to Battlefield, I think. Let's just be soldiers on the front line and, perfect. But, yeah, I commend them for their new steps, their take on it, their take on a squad shooter, their take on the cinematic transitions, tip of the cap, top notch. No one else in the industry is doing it. They need to be commended for the excellent work they've done, and I feel they got shortchanged by most people in the games industry this year on review. I think they just dung them for the time and then gave them nothing. But they did fantastic character development. I was really interested in those characters. As you said, mate, at the end of that story, the way they've built that squad and the way you now understand that squad, yes, give me another campaign. Give me another 20 hours of these characters. They're rich, they're compelling, I understand them, they're all unique. I love the Aussies. Come on. Throw a banger in there, mate. It's perfect. I could totally take a whole campaign of those Aussies. That was perfect. But all in all, I don't know, man. I guess I'd want to sit this as a 9 out of 10 for a campaign. We're just talking specifically Call of Duty campaign.
Just campaign,
Just campaign, but it's it's dinging points for the flight mission 4. That one really let them down, but and the mission length, they're the only two things I'd take off. I'd take off 1 point for that, so I'd give them a 9 out of 10. How about you, Steve? Where does it sit for you?
I'm probably sitting there. Like, I was playing this going, I've been obviously playing a lot of Uncharted as well at the moment and going, this is like, you're playing your moment-to-moment gameplay just for the thrill of the shoot and the thrill of whatever's happening on screen at once. And I think this delivers it in droves. So as far as Call of Duty campaigns go, I had a lot of fun with this. And the fact that I went back straight away to even play it on Veteran and was having so much fun just doing that, mate, I've got to give it probably a 9 as well. So
yeah, nice one. The other thing I meant to give him big props for, we did a World War II first-person shooter game with Nazis, and the villain wasn't Hitler. They created a new villain. I have no idea. I have no idea if that whole villain, if that dude existed, if his story is based anyway in reality. I have no idea. As far as I know, pure fiction, and they just created that dude, but they created an awesome villain. The way he was played and acted out, perfect presentation. I hated that dude. I loved the way it finished. I don't want to give away how you finally get to him done, but it's brilliant. I loved it.
The payoff is good, and so I can't speak more highly of the campaign this year. And hopefully, Modern Warfare looks like it's going to be Modern Warfare 2 by Infinity Ward this year. I think. Well, knowing Modern Warfare 1, which I loved, I think they'll sort of keep going with Call of Duty campaigns being good this year. So it is Call of Duty, but it's usually it's pretty good.
Exactly. Final thoughts from us. Definitely give that Call of Duty campaign a try. If you're a bit tight for cash, as a lot of people are right now, maybe wait till it drops down to $20. Maybe $20 is a good price for that campaign, but at $20, it's a steal and everyone should play it, in my opinion. Oh, that was luck. Hey, that's not it. I love everything about it. Ooh. Old Uncle Donkey. Donkey.